So it just turned it off and I kept everything pretty close to where it was. There you go. Now you can see a lot better. So as you can see through your wee hoo, oh, this is a pretty cool app. It is called FFT Wave version and you can get it on Google Play. So anyways, the purpose of it that I hooked all this up. Now, I don't believe this song here I will get in any trouble to play this because of copyright things. Now, what I found was I'm going to turn my bass on my bass knob all the way down. See if I can, yep, there you go. So it's all the way down as you can see. I'm going to stuff this inside here. Doesn't really hold it as tight as I thought it was going to. Maybe this will work in here. There we go. That's better. So I'm going to keep this in here like so. So it gives you a little bit of an idea to show you that when I move that bass knob. So you know that I'm not playing around here and this thing is crazy. So, I have it hooked up. These speakers, as I said, are running right now, unfortunately. They are bridged. This amp claims that it'll push out 230 watts, I believe, or 240 watts. I do not have the box in my sight. It's somewhere in all this mess. As you see, I got a tar amp back there, etc. I don't think it will say it on the bottoms of this. No, it doesn't say any information on that. So anyways, to my memory, it's just over 200 watts. Now, this is what's crazy. I'm going to turn this here for you. I'm going to turn all my mids down, my highs, and my mid bass. I'm going to turn the music off on the fader as low as possible. I have the subwoofer cranked and the volume cranked on all of my dials. That way you can see what I am talking about. So my volume, main volume, is fully maxed out. This is tuned, not fully maxed, but you can turn these dials and you can get out of this. It doesn't go clean. I have a clipping machine, an oscillator, and it goes up to 4.5 volts of whatever you're putting into it to go out clean, like perfectly clean. So this is like, and this here, I'm telling you, is what everybody needs. If you can get an audio control line driver, I don't get sponsored by them or nothing like that, but if you can get that, they're banging. I'm telling you, I had an overdrive back in the day and it worked wonders. So anyways, I'm going to show you how this machine here, first of all, is impressive, that it's going to change the sound of the mids that you're going to hear as we play the song, which again, as I told you, just these are hooked up. I don't have these ones hooked up. They're separate speakers. I could have if I run my other amp, or I run this as a regular stereo instead of bridging it the way that we have bridged it up here. And again, these amps, the gain control is set halfway. I didn't voltage meter it, so I don't know if it's clipping. It doesn't need that much power anyways. But my frequencies are both turned as low as possible, which I will look because I haven't actually looked. This is a mid-range amplifier. Lowest it goes is 50 hertz is the lowest that it goes. I have both channels on high PF, not full range. That way I can control them a little bit more, but I can get a little bit more bass. Not that you're expecting to get bass out of these things, but it's nice to have some, because when you hear cars that have them in their doors without subwoofers, some cars sound like they got a little bit of bass. They sound nice inside the cars. So anyways, I'm going to start this up and I'm going to turn the thing on. But first, I will go to this and turn this so it repeats this track. So if it does play a little long, because this video is going to be a little long, because this is really cool. I like the way that this app is set up. So here we go. Okay, so I have the volume fully cranked now on my tablet, and we're going to go into this and start to play music. Now, I'm going to put my head here And maybe you guys can hear that box is pushing right now. That's how crazy. With this turned all the way down, my gain levels turned all the way down, and this thing literally pushing no voltage through it yet. Okay, so and as you can see, it hears my voice still, and it just dials everything in. So I wish I had a couple cameras, so I do. I'm charging that one. It was just out here for the last 3 weeks in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and it's frozen. The battery's completely dead. So I'm going to turn my fader so I can start pulling my mids out. And I'm going to start adjusting. So right now this has no bass, no mid, and no high on my EQ. This is completely turned down. And this is what I'll show you as I adjust. This gives me more power because I'm pulling the fade from the rear to the front. Now that's what you're hearing regularly through this. Okay? This isn't loud, by the way. If you could be in a room right now with me, I can talk at almost just a little bit louder than you would be talking, or say like if you're at a crowded area and you had to speak a little higher than you usually do. That's as loud as the music is beside me right now. I do not have to yell. It's not overpowering. I'm not overpowering it. It's just we're having a conversation and you're guessing, am I supposed to listen to the music or am I listening to this person? I don't have it cranked because these numbers will not read. So back to here. Now watch how beautiful, if I crank this to go to the halfway mark, see how much the bass cleared that up so it doesn't sound tinny? This is Sparta! Now I'll turn the mid or the highs to the halfway point. Now this is showing you all the frequencies that this is hitting, which is really cool. I can reset it and it will show you where they'll go. Okay, now let's turn up the mid bass to halfway. See how clear that just got? I'm not touching my amplifiers. I am not touching anything but this piece right here. This piece is phenomenal. So as you see, I'm going to pause this for a second. So you see, I literally, you'll be able to see the gauges, I believe, the knobs at the tops. Yep, there you go. So you can see the knobs at the tops of these. Oh, what did I turn up there? Oh, and I didn't even turn up. There's 4 knobs. Wow, I just noticed that. There's 4 knobs on here. One's for also the mid bass. So I'll turn that one up as we go for the next thing. But as you've seen, when you look at this, as we can go back into it, because it usually holds. Oh, it let go because we went and changed the screen. But anyways, as you play it, it will let you hear this. Now, I don't have this cranked. I do not have this cranked. As I said, it's as loud as I am talking right now and you can hear me clear. That's how loud this was playing through these speakers to lift up. Now, I am listening to this through, I am talking with my Bluetooth on through my headphones. Also, I don't know if that records it through there or if it will listen to it through my microphone on my phone. So I don't know how much the bass will be emphasized, but The subwoofer, you can kind of hear like very subtle in here because it's very tuned low. It's not jacked on anything right now. So there's no bass. It's not tinny coming out of these speakers here, which are JBL 360 clubs. You can get them for like $220, $230 on Amazon. I got them for $130 when they were on sale last summer. But anyways, I'm going to put this back on, and now we're going to play with the sub and play with that mid bass a little bit to increase it. And then I will maybe turn it up into the fade a little bit to see how much we can get it to play. It is late at night. Well, it's not too late. It's 7:30 at night. I am in a garage where it shouldn't be too loud and it's not pounding where the neighbors will hear it. Because you'd literally have to be outside. So it's not too shabby, but I'll crank it for a second, just the mids, not the subwoofer, to show you how much the bass will kick in before it starts sounding like shit, or sorry, part of my language, it'll start sounding like crap. That is so clear right now. Listen how beautiful that is. And this thing has so much more juice it can push. Like this, that's why this is clearer. So this is about 300 watts of mid-range power to that amp.
Zombie Apocalypse.
I turned these thing down because I turned the volume of the level to go into this. So that was a little loud. So as you can see, this thing could hear from the mids 86.1 hertz. It heard on the low end. I can't see over here where it was doing any of the other stuff, but on the high end where we were seeing, the numbers that we were seeing are up to 6,600 if we end up slowing it there, 64. So we were seeing some nice snaps for the highs, and I couldn't see the middle number because we were so high up in the dB. That's the only thing I do not like about this program. After 80 dB, you can't see and you can't adjust this at all to go, well, I want to read higher than 80. So that's the only thing that sucks. Now, I cannot crank this. I will not crank this, but the mids and everything, I have, as I told you, my setup on my amp. But this is where it gets freaky. I'm going to turn on this subwoofer dial so you guys can hear what this sub sounds like. This subwoofer is barely moving, and I do not have the volume up loud. This is ignorant. Like, you don't understand. You can hear the things vibrating in here. You hear those blades vibrating on the wall? Like, this sounds like a theater where it's that low.
Rubicon Zombie Apocalypse.
Like, that is super, super, super ignorant. I have not heard anything like that in a really long time. As you can see, this is where it's beautiful though. Look how low this thing was saying. Below 30 hertz. This thing was hearing it at 70, as almost as loud as you could hear it, through 40 all the way up to just below 70 hertz. This thing was cruising like stupidly. They say that these are made, I will agree. I will turn this off. I will strongly agree to say these are not SPL boxes. There's been a lot of research, a lot of things that are on it, and they say that it is not a SPL box. And I will agree. But the frequency responses so far that I've heard out of these, I am such a firm believer in these boxes. The only problem is that I have with them is that, yes, you can probably do a lot less, a lot more power out of 210s in the same size box with an amp about roughly the same size running 700 watts because of course you're moving more air, etc. But in all reality, I really do question. I'll sit here and set this up this way so at least I'm talking towards you people. But what I would say is, what I found is there is no comparison to the response. It's almost as if you would say it's a sealed box, how it's a SQ box, because sealed boxes are very wide bands. And they just don't sound as good. You lose a lot of dB through them. But this thing here is phenomenal right now. Its power is only running on 700 watts out of a subwoofer that takes 1000 watts RMS. So it'd be very nice to see what this sounds like. And I'm running this on 2 batteries here off of a charger. This isn't even getting the cleanest power. I did not rate everything by using my oscillator. I don't know if I have that right in front of me or if I have that upstairs. I believe it's here. I think it's over on the table. Anyways, I have an oscillator meter that I use for all of this stuff, which I don't see directly in front of me, and I'm not going to search through everything to try and find it right now. But I do have an oscillating meter, so I can check out your how much voltage is your RCAs are putting out, how much for your amp is putting out, and it also measures your clipping points, so you can get clean power, and then you could go into a little bit clipping because you can get a little bit of a, you know, it doesn't have to be a perfect arc. It should be. That's the rule, 100%, and you will not damage any equipment that way, so you get clean power. But if you are under powering or something, and you know you could push a little bit more, you can push it as long as you're getting clean voltage to your amplifier, like a good battery, good cap in the back, prefer